Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we get started, if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the comments box below. Okay, I can see here Joel is joining us. Fantastic. So if you do have any questions throughout this live stream, please add your questions in the comments box. By doing so, the CEO of Fluent Forms is going to respond to those questions as well. But today I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a presentation of Fluent Forms 4.0. This is their latest release, and this release is so powerful that I just had to do a live stream to all you guys so you can see the benefits of it. I use it now in my websites, and you'll see throughout this that this is something that you may need to consider at any point. If you feel that this is the right plugin for you, there's a link in the video description below which takes you to the unlimited offer, which is quite interesting. So I will be talking about it more in detail at the end of this live stream. Okay. So let's dive in and let's talk about Fluent Forms. All right, so this is a conversational form. This is what I need to start talking about right away. It is a fantastic way of creating forms. So here I just created this. Are you ready for transformation? This is a 60-day fitness program for beginners. So you can either use enter or you can click on I'm ready. So I'm just going to say I'm ready. Now notice what happens. It's saying I'm ready to get started. My name is. So here I can add my name. So I'm just going to say Jack. And I can also hit enter or OK. Now notice what happens here. Now this is pretty much the conversation, and the way we're filling up this form is even more exciting than what we would in our normal forms that we are accustomed to. So as you can see here, I was able to add a graphic over here to the right, and over here I also have some choices to go with. So I could say, it says, do you need a diet plan? I can say yes. I can hit OK. And then here it's asking about the age. Okay, so how old are you? So as you can see, this is very conversational, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to add a 40 plus here. And now it's saying, do you suffer from back pain, neck pain, or ankle pain? So I'm just going to say neck pain here. Click OK. And then is there anything else you need to tell us about your health? I'm going to say no to this. Okay. And then finally, it's asking for my email address. So I'm just going to add an email address in here. At gmail.com. Excellent. So now we can have a call to action here, or we can just add whatever message that we need here at the end of the form. So as you can see, this is very fun. It's much easier to fill in, and it is a much better way of filling out this form, conversational form, on your own website. So you can use it, say, for example, for lead generation. You can use this as a freelancer and do this for, say, a dental practice. You can use it for a fitness trainer, pretty much anyone that may need this type of form to make it even more exciting. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to show you how I was able to create this and show you all the features of this form. Okay, so over here I've switched over to my WordPress website. So I've gone ahead and installed Fluent Forms. So what you need to do is to first install the free plugin. It's called Fluent Forms. So I'm going to come over here, click on add new. So installing it is quite straightforward. All you need to do is to search for Fluent Forms. Like that. And you know, I keep typing this without the space. Anyway, that's Fluent Forms. So you can see here, I've already gone ahead and installed it and activated it. Now, after this, you need to have the Pro version, because that's what has all the features that we're going to be going through here, and also all the integrations. Okay, so I have mine installed, and once you install it, you're going to see this entry here called Fluent Forms Pro. So this is where you'll see all your forms, and you can also create a new form from here. So I'm going to say new form. All right, so here we can see we have the conversational form, which is what I've just shown you. Now let me show you how easy it is to go in, and I'll also show you how easy it is to customize it and make it really look amazing. So I'm going to say create new form. So here we go. This is our new form. I highly recommend that the first thing you need to do is to come over here to the top left and give this form a name. So I'm just going to call this live stream. So I just know what I'm working with. I'm going to say rename. So when they are now listed, I'm going to know which form it is that I have here. Okay, guys. I know I've just gone in and went for this live stream. Can you all hear me loud and clear? Just let me know in the comments box below, please, if you can hear me loud and clear. Anyway, so I'm just going to assume that you can hear me. So I'm just going to continue now. But if you can't hear me, please let me know. All right, so here now, what I'm going to do is to start building my form. So these are all the input fields that we can add over here, depending on what sort of form it is. So here, let's start with your name. So if you want to customize this, all you have to do is to click on the pencil icon. And instead of just saying your name, I can just say my name is. Okay, so that is how you sort of like start the conversation. So I've put my name is. We can also add a placeholder here. So I can just say add name here. Or I can just say type your name here. I think that sounds better. There we go. So type your name here. Now we can also make this field required or not. So it's up to you if you want to do that. Okay, fantastic. So this is now updated in real time. So as you can see here, this has been updated. Now let's move on to the next part. So every time you want to make customizations to each input, you come over here to this input customization tab. Now let's say you want to add something else. So let's say the next part here is asking a few questions. So let's make this a review or a feedback form. So I'm going to drag this here and say, which services did you use? Okay. So I'm just making this up as we're building this. Okay. Which service did you use? So this is where you can go in and add your services. So I'm going to say diet plan, or it could be anything, you know. Fitness 50. Let's assume this is a product. And I'm going to say none. Okay, so which service did you use? Diet plan, fitness 50, and none. Next, we can also add another input field. So let's choose another one here. This time, I need a text area. So I'm going to say, how did you find our service? Okay. Okay, so now we're giving them the ability to go in and type in here. Next, let's delete some of these areas here that we don't need. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Confirm. Your query, I'm going to delete that too. Confirm. Right. So all I have now is how did you find our service? Okay, fantastic. So now let's think of something else we can add. What can we add here? Perhaps we need a star rating. Okay, so that could be a good idea. So for our star rating, I'm just going to drag it over here like that. And now we have our rating. To customize this, we can just click here on this pencil icon and say, how do you rate us? There we go. How do you rate us? Let's delete that. Excellent. So let's make this a required field. And then finally here on the email, I'm going to say, would like to send you a discount. Where should we send it? And then you can just say, where should we send it? There we go. If I can spell it, as you can see, my typing is really terrible. Where would you like? Okay. Where should you send it? Okay, so there we go. Right. So as you can see, this is pretty conversational. Now over here, we have the button. We can also change the button over here. So let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to come over here, click on this pencil icon. And again, this is going to take me to customize my button. And I can now go into my customization. And instead of saying submit, I'm just going to say send review. Okay, and also you can choose what sort of button you want. Is it large? Is it small? Is it medium? So I'm going to set it as large and then save the form. Okay, excellent. So I'm pretty sure you're curious to want to see what this form looks like. We've gone in, we've added all our information, and as you can see, it took us less than 10 minutes. So let's take a look now at this form. So I'm just going to hit preview, and this is going to open a new tab and show us what this form looks like. So as you can see here, it starts with the name. So I'm going to start off here by adding the name. So I'm going to say Simon. I'm going to say okay. And then which service did you use? I'm going to say Fitness 50. Hit okay. How did you find our service? I can just type my information here. I'm going to say very good. Okay, now there's a star rating, so I'm going to go with 4 stars. And then now it's time to add my email address in here. But of course, you need to add a proper email address here. Now I'm going to hit submit. And now you can see here that we have our final page. So this is how easy it is to set up these forms, and these are called conversational forms. Now, these forms tend to have more impact as compared to pretty much our old school forms. Now, let me show you what our old school forms would look like. So back over here, I am going to now go to my editor. So we also have a shortcode here, which we can just copy and paste it anywhere on our site. So I've just copied that. So let me show you now what this would look like if I were to set it up on my site. So I'm just going to go back and paste this shortcode. So right now I'm going to use Divi. But of course you can use any page builder. It doesn't really matter what page builder you're using. So let's delete this and start from scratch. So I'm going to go with that. And in here, we just need a text module or a code module. It doesn't really matter. So now I'm just going to paste my shortcode in here, and then you can see how the form looks like. So I'm going to save that. So now let me exit the Visual Builder. Okay, so we can also embed these forms pretty much anywhere on our site. So right now it's taken up this space right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm also going to show you how we can also embed this form. And I'm just going to go back to all my forms here because we have 2 shortcodes. You see this shortcode here? I can copy that and paste it onto my site. So right now we have the conversational form. So now I'm going to say enable. Okay, so I can just go into my settings here and replace this one with the old school one. So I like calling this old school. Okay, I'm going to save that. And exit the Visual Builder. Okay, so there we go. So I'm pretty sure I mean, we're all accustomed to this type of form where you go in, you enter your information, and sometimes this can look really crazy because there's a lot of information you have to enter. But if it's conversational, it's fun because you're going through steps, you're being asked questions, and you can go in and enter all these questions as you go through. So this is why this form is very, very powerful. So any questions so far? Before we proceed, please let me know in the comments box. And also, please do share this so that more people can watch it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to continue on and also show you how you can further customize this. So any questions so far? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and start customizing my form. So I'm going to come over here to this tab. So this is the form that we've been working on. It's called the live stream. And if I click now on edit, so we want to add images, we want to add color, we want to do a bit more customizations to this to make it look fun. So that's what we're going to do next. Right, so just bear with me here. Okay, so how we're going to do this now is we're going to start with the global settings. So with the global settings, what we can do here is to click here on design. So here on the global settings, we can do a few things like adding a background color. So let's start here with the background. So I'm going to click on the color palette here. So you can see I can change the color of this background, and this ideally would work if this is a color that matches our branding. Okay, so that's our first thing that we can go in and change. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's look for a color here. So I am going to go with that. Very subtle. Now, what we can also do is to add a background image. So to add a background image, you can just click here on this icon. And let's say the image we're going to add is this one right here. I'm going to say insert into post. Now, here's the thing. When we take a look at this image here, it's a bit tricky because now we can't read the text that's over here, okay? Because the background here is a bit too bright. So there's two ways to resolve this, and that is you can either use the background brightness here, and you can see here I am making my image here a bit dim so that my text can be easy to read. So that's one way you can do this and really make your forms look awesome. Okay, next we can also go the opposite direction if you want to make the text light. So I'm going to slide this all the way to the left, and look at that. So we can still see the image slightly, but it's darker, and we can also go in and change the text here. So the questions right now it's black. We can go in and change this, and boom, now I've changed the color. So you can see here it's much easier to read. Over here on the answers, I can go in here as well, give my answers a color. So I can continue doing this until I'm pretty much happy with my design. But I highly recommend that as you're doing this, you do it in such a way that it is very, very easy to read. Okay, so the next part here is the branding. So over here on the right, bottom right, you see it says powered by Fluent Forms. So you can disable the branding by just coming over here, and boom, it's gone. So that is where you disable it if you didn't want that on your forms. All right, so now that we have this, let's talk about the next part, and that is going in individually and making those changes. Now, but before we do that, I just want to show you how you can share this as well. So you now have a direct URL here, which you can share on Twitter, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on LinkedIn, and anywhere. So this is the form that you just go and just post on social media, and this is going to give you pretty much the same layout as we are seeing right now. In fact, let's just copy this so I can show you. So I'm just going to go into a new tab and paste it, and boom, that is what it looks like. Okay, now let's go in and customize this. So I'm going to come back here to the editor. So I'm going to start here with my name is. Okay, so I'm going to click on this pencil icon. So what we need to do now is to come over here to layout options. So this is where we have all our different layout options. So we can choose this one here, and it gives us a pretty much a default image, but you can go in and change it over here. So there's also another option here where you can have the information over to the right, or you can have it this way. But this time, this is really going edge to edge, filling up this space. Now, I prefer going this way. Now, I already have images on my website. So I'm going to go in and choose images from here. So I'm going to click here on this arrow. So let's choose an image. So I'm going to go with this one right here, insert into post. So already this now has become my image that is going to be on this first slide, which says my name is. So there's also a few customizations we can do here, and that is the media brightness. So we can reduce the brightness here, or we can increase it like that. Of course, not too much, but we can just, leave it as it is. Now we also have the horizontal position. So if your image is not really centered, you can just play around here with these slides and your image will be centered correctly. So that's the first one. Now let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to again click on this pencil icon. Now this time I'm going to switch it over so I can have the text over to the right. So now I'm going to click on layout settings. So this time I'm going to use this one here. And again, you can see we have a default image here, but we can change it again by clicking on the slider. And I'm just going to choose a dish right here. So I'm going to go with this, insert into post, right? So now we have an image for this slider. Okay, so I can continue doing this until I have finished all the slides. And so far I've just done this too. So let me show you what this looks like so far. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this form. And then let's do a quick preview. Excellent. So do you see how this fills the whole screen? I mean, this looks beautiful. I'm sure you guys can agree with me. So now if I type in my name here, hit enter, you can see my next image here. Now, what is good here is what you need to do is to add images that relate to what question you're asking here. So if it's about fitness or dieting, you want to have an image that also corresponds with that as well. That really looks nice. So as you can see here, this looks really, really, really nice. I'm sure you can agree with me as well. Okay, so that's my preview, and that is how easy it is to go in and add images to our slides. Okay, so let's leave this. This was straightforward enough. Now let's talk about the next thing. So let's say you're pretty much happy with this and you want to see your entries of all the people that have entered this. So all you have to do now is to come over here to your entries, and you can see now we have Simon, fitness 50, very good. So this is what I entered in earlier on, and this is the compact view. So if I do that, now it's just pretty much showing me everything. Okay, we also have a filter here. So you can choose to go through the dates. So if you want this from a specific date range, you can just come over here and choose your date range. And this is how you would find what you're looking for. Okay, and over here as well, you can also look at the ones that are read, unread, and so on. And this is pretty much a lot of information that we can take a look at. We also have a visual view. You can see here, you can have a look at your graphs and see how this is performing. So as you can see, this is a really, really, really powerful form. It's full of features, and these features here are amazing. You can also toggle here, and let's say you don't want to see the unread, you can just do that. But of course, it just depends, how you want to see this information. Okay, so that is the entries. Okay, so I'm back here. We can also customize this. So let's say you don't want to see which service was used. You can just do that, and then it pretty much removes it over here if you want to do that. Now, the most important feature here is once you have all this information, what are you going to do with it? Perhaps maybe you want to export it to a document, or maybe even save this information or add it to some sort of automation or whatever it is. There is also an option to export all your data. So let me show you how you do that. So to export, you can just come over here, export as a CSV, and it's as easy as that. So you click on that, and just by doing that, it has downloaded here on the bottom of my screen, and this is my file. So this is a powerful system, but it doesn't end here. As I mentioned, you can use this form. Once you create this form as a conversational form, it's okay, but you can also use it as a traditional form. But the one feature that I really, really love about this is once you've created this form, you can also add it to other integrations. Okay, so you can use it with Fluent CRM, you can use it with so many other services. Now let's take a look and see the type of services that we can use with Fluent Forms. So what I'm going to do now is to come over here. Right, so integration modules. So these are all the integration modules that we have. We have user registration here. We have landing pages. We have custom post types, Fluent CRM, get response, webhooks. Now this is very powerful because you can use this with a lot of services. You can work with ActiveCampaign, Trello, iContact, ConvertKit. So as you can see here, this connects with so many services, and you don't have to pay extra for any of these extra integrations, unlike other forms. Okay, so these are the forms. Now let me show you how you can connect this with Fluent CRM, because I know some of you on this channel use Fluent CRM, and this will be the best way of utilizing your license for Fluent CRM to work with Fluent Forms. Okay, so what you need to do now is to head over here to Fluent CRM. So I'm going to come over here to the dashboard. So ideally, I want to do two things. I can either create tags, or I can also create lists. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to lists. Now let's call this list live stream. So I'm going to come over here and give it a title. There we go. So I'm going to call this live stream. So I'm also going to add a tag here. So let's call this live stream tag. Okay, excellent. So these are the first two things you're going to need. You're going to need a form. You're also going to need, a tag, or you're also going to need a list. So this is what can trigger our automation. So now that we have these two things, what I can do now is to come back to Fluent Forms. So I'm going to come all the way back here, and I can target whatever form I need from here. So I'm going to start here with this one, click on edit, settings and integrations. Okay. So here on settings and integrations, I want to straight away go to marketing and CRM integrations. Okay, this is where the magic happens. So I'm going to click on add new integration. And as you can see here, Fluent CRM is showing. I'm going to select it. So now I can say Fluent CRM list. So I want that when people sign up onto this form, they are added to the list. So my list that I've just created is called live stream. And this is what I've just done a few moments ago. I'm going to select it like that, and I'm going to match my field here, which is the email address, like that. First name, I'm not really too bothered about this, but I can also match this like that. And if we want to add some conditional logic, we can also add a conditional logic here, but I'm going to have more tutorials where I'll be showing you how to use conditional logic in all of this. Okay, now that I have set up my, my connection here, I am now going to create my Fluent CRM feed. Okay, so now you can see it's connected here, which is brilliant. So the question now is, what do I want to do when someone fills in this form? I mean, what do I want to happen? So if you want to do an automation, this is where you can go to Fluent CRM and create an automation based on someone signing up on this form. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do now is to come over here to Fluent CRM. And I am going to go to automations, create new automation. So this is for my live stream form. There we go. So I'm going to choose CRM. So I want to trigger this when a tag is applied or when a list is added. So, you know, there's a few ways we could do this. So let's go with list applied. I'm going to hit continue. So the list I want here is the live stream list, which I created earlier on. And then I'm going to hit save settings. Right. So this is what's going to trigger this automation. So I'm going to click here on this plus button here. So I'm going to say custom email is the first thing I want to send. So let's call this welcome. So thanks for the feedback. Okay. This is where I can add my email body. So I'm going to say hello, add first name. And then my email goes here. Right. So with this, we can also add buttons. We can add images. There's so many things we can add here. So let's say you want to add a quick image. You can just go in and add your image just by clicking there. Go to your media library, and we can add our image just by selecting it. And now we have an image in our email content. And we can also add a button. And that's very easy to do as well. Click on this plus button and we can choose our button. And we can say click here. So this is where we would add our call to action, which is fantastic. All right. So let's say this is my email. I can hit save settings. Now I can also add other things here. So if I click on this plus button, I can add them to a sequence. I can cancel them from a sequence. I can apply tags. I can do all sorts of things here. So as you can see, there's a lot that we can do. We also have conditions here. We can add conditions. And if you want to sell them, let's say a product, we can go in and create some emails that will redirect them to the products that we are selling. So there's pretty much a lot that we can do here, okay? But the most important thing is as soon as someone is added to the mailing list, they are going to, to the list, they are going to now be added to the automation. So I'm just gonna come back here and give them a tag. So I'm gonna say apply a tag and live stream tag, there we go, and save settings. And then finally, I'm just gonna say, you know what, end this funnel here. Excellent. All right, so let's make our automation funnel live. So to do that, you want to click here on the status. Okay, so now it's live. Everything is working okay. So what I'm going to do next now is to go back to our form and fill it up again and see what happens over here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my forms. And this is my form here. I'm going to do a preview. So let's use a different name here. Okay, my name is Gerald. I'm going to say diet plan. Just going to say great. 5-star. I'm going to add an email address now. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to submit my email address, and there we go. Now, if I come back over here to my site now, let me go to Fluent CRM and see what is happening. Okay, so now I'm going to go to automations, and we can see here that our live stream form feedback has a someone here, and of course that is me. So I'm going to go into that funnel. I'm going to go to my stats, and we can see here that there's one person here, and tag was applied, and the funnel has ended. Okay, great. So if you want to see all the contacts now, let's go back over here and let's look for all the contacts. So this is where you'll find all the contacts. So this is Gerald. This is what I just added in. So let's see if our tag was automatically applied, and sure enough, it was. Here it is, live stream tag, and this is the list, and so on. So as you can see, this is very, very, very easy to apply. And you know what? Having a system which is automated and works in this manner is brilliant. There's so many customizations that you can do to this, and imagine doing this for, say, a small business owner who is trying to generate leads, and then you can go in and automate the whole system for them. This is why it is very, very important to really consider Fluent Forms 4.0, because the integration that it has with Fluent CRM is very, very powerful, and it is full of features. Now, I want to talk about a company that pretty much has the same feature that as I was showing you today, but of course not as many of the features do apply here, because the features that this company has are okay, but the idea is the same. So the company here is Typeform. So if you take a look here, they do pretty much the same thing. Let's go on the homepage. Now take a look over here on the right. So this is similar. You can see there that these are conversational forms. But what really got me very surprised here is the price of this service. So if I come over here to pricing, you notice that this is 66 British pounds per month, right? And this one here, the plus, is 41 pounds per month. But the one thing that you may not see here is you are limited to 1,000 responses. Now, what if you have a big business that has more than 1,000 responses? You see, that means you have to switch over to this one here, which has 10,000 responses. But the pricing here is really, really crazy. I mean, 41 per month. And now this is the yearly price where you save 16%. If you choose the monthly, look at that. This is really expensive. Okay. Even this one here for 25 pounds per month, it's 100 responses. So in US dollars, it's going to be probably about 35 or 37 US dollars per month. Okay, so this is the next or the nearest form that does pretty much similar to what I've been showing you a moment ago. Now, when you use plugins on your website, one of the challenges you get is just this worry about speed. Does this work fast enough, or does it slow down my website, and so on? So this is something that I really looked at, and I really wanted to drill down and see if this was going to affect my website. And sure enough, there's information about this. So check it out. Over here now is a graph that shows the performance of other competitors, which are Formidable, we have WP Forms, Gravity Forms, and so on. So as you can see, Fluent CRM is the first one there. It is the fastest. And that to me is a big deal, because I really like, or would like, my website to be super fast. I wouldn't want to have a website which has all these features, but is very, very slow. I mean, it's very, very annoying. So having or making sure that our website is really fast is really, really good. So I'm really happy with this part here. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is the features. So the features we get with Fluent Forms 4.0 are a lot. We have conditional logic, we have file and image upload, we have it's block spams and blank entries, and you can do, I mean, there's a lot we can do here. You can see all these features. You probably won't even use all of these, right? Now let's move on and let's talk about the automations. I know I touched a little bit about it, but as you can see here, there's a ton of integrations that we can use. And if you're a web designer or a marketer, chances are you're using some of these. And by the way, I forgot to mention that it's also going to have payments added to it. So which means in this conditional process, you're also going to have payments. So at the end of this process, you can actually encourage people to buy something or even to download something. So it is really, really cool. All right, so moving on, let's talk about now the pricing. So when you go online right now and take a look at the most popular plugins, it's Gravity Forms, WP Forms. These are the most popular ones, okay? So this one here costs $259. This is Gravity Forms. It has a lot of features, really, really good. It's been in the industry for a very, very long time. But here is the pricing, $259 for unlimited websites, right? But, and there's a big but here. For the extras, you have to pay more money. So any add-ons, you have to pay money for the add-ons, which to me is really, I mean, as a business, it's okay, but for value, not really, okay? Now let's take a look at WP Forms. WP Forms is $599 for unlimited websites, but they are slower and they don't have conversational forms. So you can see here they're missing the big part, which an entire company was able to be set up to just have that conditional function. So it's still not a deal. Now, let's move on to the next part now, which is the lifetime deal that we're going to be talking about today. So for unlimited websites, you are going to be getting this at $499. Okay, it may seem like a lot of money, but if you design 2 websites, right, just 2 websites with conditional forms, and by the way, these conditional forms, you can create them on your site, grab the code, and add it onto your client's website. So that is the power. You don't have to install Fluent Forms on that client's website. You can create the forms on your site and have them on your client side. So you can just do this twice and you've made your $499 back. Whatever you make after that, all that is profit. Okay, so that's how I would look at the unlimited websites here for $499. But if you're on a budget, $299 is also okay for 5 websites, and you can make that money back by perhaps designing even 1 website. Okay, now remember, this is a lifetime deal. This is a lifetime deal. Okay, so once you buy it, pretty much you're good to go. You don't have to pay every year. These prices that we have here are yearly prices, and I've labeled it here. It's yearly, so it's $259 per year. With this lifetime deal, you don't have, it's only paid once and that's it. If you're really, really on a tight budget and you just want to have it on one of your sites, then $149 is what you'd pay on for 1 website. And again, you get unlimited websites, you get you get unlimited updates, and pretty much you don't have to pay any extra moving forward. So as you can see, this is a very, very powerful offer, and it is something that I highly recommend. I use it myself, and I am going to be using a lot of these conversational forms as I design a lot of my opt-ins and even other, ideas that I can add to this. But, your ideas pretty much are endless with this product. Okay, so any questions so far? If you have any questions, please add them in the comments box below so I can respond to them as quickly as possible. Right, and also there's something I need to mention here, and that is when you create these forms, you also get access to all the other features of Fluent Forms, and that is templates. So let me show you how these templates work. So I'm just going to switch over here to my site here. So let's go to Fluent Forms. Okay. So with Fluent Forms, we are able to use templates. So let's say you want to have a template which pretty much has something to do with products. It could be something to do with education. It could be marketing. It could be non-profit. So there's all these templates that you can use. So check this out. We have a donation form here. So if I click on create form, it will just add in all the fields that I may need for this form to get me up and running really, really fast. So as you can see here, it has my first name, last name. It has the phone, email address. It has the address. And then it has the donation here. And then here it also says your preferred method of donation and so on. Now, this form is very, very powerful. It also has payment integrations. So I've already gone ahead and connected my payment integration here. So I would click here on payment and I can add my payment field. In fact, this is the payment field. I can now add my payment method. Look at that. So right now I activated PayPal. So PayPal will be my option here that would go with this. And if you have any coupons, you can add your coupon code in here. But of course, for this situation here, we won't need to do that. Now, if you're selling more than one product, you can then just drag this item quantity here and allow people to choose how many things they may want to add. And for your payment field here, that's the pricing of the item. So as you can see, this is a very, very powerful form. Now I can see here, Senna Foxy says, what would you use Fluent Forms for? Now the answer to that is pretty much anything, right? So even in this example that I'm talking to you about, if you want to sell a one-off product, let's say you want to just sell something fast, right? Maybe it's a downloadable, maybe it's a template, whatever it is. This is the best way to do it because you'd either have to use a third-party service to take those payments, or you would have to use WooCommerce, which is overkill just to sell one product. So this is the best way to really sell one product fast. You connect this with PayPal or Stripe, and boom, just like that, you can pretty much take some payments and even have the automation to Fluent CRM or even any other email service provider. So that's one way you could do this. Another way is to collect information. So just like how we use our traditional forms. So maybe it could be a contact form. So you can just go in there, add your contact form. But this is so powerful that you can create pretty much loads and loads of forms. So let's say you're designing a website for a school and you'd like to create a registration form, which may also need them to upload their ID and so on. You can also use this form for that. So I would really target Fluent Forms 4.0 to personal use, but you'd really get most of Fluent Forms if you were doing this as a freelancer or even if you're an agency, okay? But you can do quite a lot of that. Omaru Torres says Fluent Forms versus Typeform. I briefly spoke about that. Typeform is quite expensive. I mean, if you really look at Typeforms here, you can see the pricing. I mean, these are monthly. So it is very, very expensive. I mean, in 3 months, you'd have pretty much made or caught up with what Fluent Forms is charging you for an unlimited offer. Okay. Yes, it's just to save time and headaches. But not just that, but you also get quite a lot of features. So, I mean, the features you're getting here are amazing. And all this data is on your website. So if you watch a lot of my tutorials, I really like taking my data seriously. This is why I don't use a lot of SaaS programs. I used to use ConvertKit, I used to use ClickFunnels and all these other products. But the reason why I really stuck to WordPress is because I can keep my data. I don't like my data to be on these SaaS platforms. So this is why with Fluent Forms, it's much easier because it's on your website, you have total control. But with something like Typeform, it's hosted somewhere else and it has a lot of limitations. And just to show you some of these limitations, if we take a look here at what you get for £49 per month, you're limited to 1,000 responses and you only have 3 users. I mean, just think about it, just 3 users. That will just drive me crazy. So the more, the higher the more your business grows, it means that you're now going to be forced to come over here to this plan, which is now 80 pounds per month. And that's a lot of money every single month. So with Fluent CRM, it's hosted on your own WordPress website, it's fast, and you don't have any limitations. So this is the power of Fluent Forms. And not only does it do conversational forms, it also does all these other traditional forms, including any other forms that you may need to customize and also even take payments. Right, I'm looking at your questions here. Yes, you also own your data. Omaru says, will the next feature be free or optional? Any updates to Fluent Forms? If you buy the unlimited license, you're going to be getting all future updates for free. So you're not going to be charged for any new features that may come up. Once you buy the lifetime, you have access to lifetime updates. Even if, let's say, for example, Fluent Forms 5.0 comes up, and it has some sort of AI and it fills your forms for you and whatever it is. I know I'm going extreme here. All those features will be absolutely free, okay? Okay. Looks like we don't have any more questions here, and pretty much I think I've covered everything that I needed to cover here with Fluent Forms. The link to get this lifetime deal is in the video description below. So go ahead in the description, click that link. It will take you to the unlimited offer. Guys, once this offer is gone, it's gone for good, right? So I highly recommend you take this advantage and get it. You only have a few days left. I had to convince the CEO of Fluent CRM to extend the day until I do this live stream. So if you don't purchase it now, really, and you delay it, Friday is the last day. Once Friday hits, that's it, it's gone. After that, it's going to be a yearly subscription, so you'd have missed out on this lifetime deal. And who knows, in the future, maybe you might have this lifetime deal, but it's going to be even more expensive than what you have here, because the value you're getting here is unbelievable, right? So this is what I would say. Now, just to share a quick story with you guys, I did a similar deal with Fluent CRM when it first came out, right? I did a live stream, I told people about it, and quite a lot of people, quite a few people skipped it. They skipped the lifetime deal. But as time went on, they realized that this is a very, very, very powerful email solution. So people have been emailing me privately saying, Mac, how can I get the lifetime deal? It's gone, okay? So this is just a quick promotion, so don't regret it. That's all I'm saying. You won't regret buying a Fluent CRM 4.0. I use it. If I didn't use it, I wouldn't be recommended to you guys. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you get this as soon as possible. All right, guys, I think I've covered pretty much most of this service. Oh, in fact, we have Loretu, I think. Am I pronouncing it well? She say, Loreto here says, I already use Typeform. Yeah, I wonder how Typeform is performing and if you like that service. So it'll be interesting. I mean, if you have a moment, please give us some feedback on Typeform and let us know how that is working for you. All right, guys. I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today on this live stream. I will be having more of these now moving forward. There's quite a lot of products coming out which are amazing. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's very important you subscribe. So please do subscribe. It's very, very important. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in the next live stream. Take care.